So in this video I will be sharing my thoughts on Final Fantasy's first expansion, Heavensward. But before I start this video off, I want to say that most of this video will be spoiler free for anyone out there that still hasn't played the game or is currently playing the game. And another thing I also want to say is that when I started playing Final Fantasy XIV, I decided for myself that I will be playing at my own pace and take my time with the game instead of just rushing it. So that way I get to experience the full Final Fantasy XIV and what each expansion has to offer. And so far I can say that it's been the best decision that I made for myself and this game. So one of the first things I noticed when getting into Heavensward is the vast improvement in the voice acting department. At first I got a little bit thrown off cause I kinda got used to the voices in A Realm Reborn, and all of a sudden everyone became a little British, but yeah, overall I still think it's a major improvement over the Realm Reborn awful voices that some characters had. Well, except one character, and that character is Tataru. I kinda still prefer Tataru's old voice from ARR cause now she sounds way too normal and way too British and doesn't have that Lalafell spunk to her voice anymore that she had in A Realm Reborn. And another thing I noticed is right at the start characters have way more personality through their writing than half the characters did for me in A Realm Reborn. The story is way more polished and actually has a direction. It is way more focused, way more engaging, and the main thing for me, it's fun. In the story of Heavensward, there are only so many characters you get introduced to, and each and every single of those characters has a point to the story. Overall, as I was playing Heavensward, I was vibing with the story, cause I felt like I was on this grand adventure and I never really got bored with it. I just wanted to consume more and more of it to the point where I was like, damn, why does my body need to sleep? I just want to play more of this game. To the point where I maybe fucked up my sleep schedule, but that's not the point. Point is that this expansion got me hooked to Final Fantasy XIV. Also, one more thing I would like to add is just don't get attached to the characters, cause this game does not care about your feelings and whether or not you like a character. They will kill anybody, anytime, anywhere. I have already been emotionally scarred by this game and I only just finished the first expansion, and I learned this the hard way. But yeah, overall, the Heavensward story is really good. The post-story A Dragon Song questline is even better and completely rounds up the Heavensward storyline. The twists, the plots, Heavensward did everything right when it came to how it presented its story to the player, and I really like that. All in all, you can tell that they know where they are going with the story, cause for me now, after playing and finishing Heavensward, A Realm Reborn feels like a long setup for the main dish. And the main dish is this expansion. You can actually see that Heavensward got the proper funding that it needed as the first expansion of Final Fantasy XIV. You can actually see the money as you are playing the game. Another thing I want to talk about is the zones of Heavensward. First of all, to me the color palette and the aesthetics of these zones were way more pleasing to my eyes than when I played through the bleak zones of A Realm Reborn. Also, the size of these Heavensward zones compared to the original A Realm Reborn zones are just staggering, and once you start exploring them you get to see how massive they can really get. The exploration aspect is also really good, cause that's the way you get your flying in this expansion. It's by exploring and discovering these ether nodes and using your compass to navigate to them through the map. I think it's a really fun way to reward the player the ability to fly in the zone once you already explored and discovered everything on foot. And also, the main city of Ishgard can be called a zone in itself with how massive and detailed it really is. I just wanted to say that cause I really love Ishgard. So once I started Heavensward, or specifically once I arrived in Ishgard, I decided to roll from my warrior class to the Dark Knight, cause I like big swords and it's another tanking class. And personally I love tanking, since I can take the lead and initiate everything, and I get to set up the pace of the dungeon that I'm doing. I found Dark Knight more enjoyable than my warrior cause it's a little faster with extra off-global cooldown skills that you get, when compared to the warrior, which is more simplistic in nature but also gets the job done. For now, I enjoy playing both Dark Knight and Warrior since they are really similar in some ways and I'm trying to level them up simultaneously. Also, the Dark Knight questline is miles beyond that of the Warrior, and if you ask me, it can just be a main storyline quest for itself on how good it is. But yeah, throughout playing this expansion, the classes felt more and more fleshed out since you are unlocking and getting more skills that actually matter and improve the overall gameplay of each and every class that you play. So, this segment is going to be a little longer than the rest, cause we are going to talk about the music in Final Fantasy XIV, specifically Heavensward. So, in my A Realm Reborn review video, I said that I really enjoyed the music of A Realm Reborn. Shiva soundtrack, Titan, Ultima Weapon soundtrack, they are all good. But goddamn does it not even slightly compare to the stuff you get to hear in Heavensward. First off, the Heavensward theme is absolutely amazing and I can't even express it with words how much I love that theme song. And there are also multiple renditions and remixes of this theme as you are playing throughout the expansion. I especially love how there are 3 different versions of this song while in Ishgard alone. So in Ishgard, if you go to the upper floors where the nobles are, the theme is remixed to sound more noble-like. While when you go all the way down to the Broom area where the commoners are, the theme sounds more heroic and struggling. And I really appreciate those small details when it comes to music. And Final Fantasy does it exceptionally well. Another song I want to mention is definitely Ravana, the first trial that you get to experience. I mean, to me, you can put that thing while you are taking a huge shit and it will feel like you are shitting in Valhalla with that song. Another huge surprise to me was definitely Bismarck the Flying Whale, cause not often do you get to hear liquid drum and bass in a boss fight and it's suiting it so well. When I went to bookmark this song into my YouTube playlist, I found this comment that perfectly encapsulates this song and the boss fight. And it says, "Not often do you get to hear liquid drum and bass in a boss fight. You can really appreciate the lack of lyrics here as they wouldn't make much sense in this trial. You are fighting a force of nature that moves purely on instinct and the music reflects that." But yeah, what other songs can I mention here? Dragon Song, really good stuff. The whole Alexander Raid soundtrack is amazing. The Sephiroth music with its early 2000 alternative new metal sound. I mean, I can just go on and talk about every song, but that would pretty much take an hour alone, so I'm not going to take that much. I'm just going to make it short and say that the music is just so well thought out and crafted to suit and make every moment in this game memorable. And each song has a meaning to it with its lyrics, and I really love that. Like, Final Fantasy does an exceptional job when it comes to the music, and you can't deny that. So, since we are already on the topic of boss fights, let's talk about dungeons, trials, and raids. So first off, the dungeons. The layout and the look of the dungeons are a major improvement over the dungeons that you get in A Realm Reborn. To me, they are way more interesting and way more connected to the story, which automatically makes them way more fun to play. My personal favorites are the Vault and, how do I pronounce this? The Etherochemical Research Facility, cause they set that tone of urgency and epicness while you play through them. Now, when it comes to trials and raids, I mean, what is there to say that hasn't already been said, but I can only simply say that they are amazing. To me, Ravana was really an enjoyable fight with one of my favorite songs, and of course I managed to drop off the platform not once but 2 times. King Thordan was a spectacle fight and deserves to be the final boss of the base story of Heavensward. I mean, who doesn't like Knights of the Round? It has a history to it. Sephiroth was unexpected and crazy, and Nidhogg fight with the Dragon Song playing in the background was just the cherry on top on how to end a great storyline. In conclusion, because of the first expansion, Heavensward, I'm now fully invested into this game, this universe, and it is the sole reason why I am now hooked to Final Fantasy XIV. And honestly, I can't wait to continue this grand adventure that the game is setting up to be. All in all, I can say that Heavensward is amazing and a vast improvement in all fields over A Realm Reborn. And if you are still wondering if it's worth playing through A Realm Reborn just to get to Heavensward, I can honestly now say that if you are an RPG fan, Heavensward is definitely worth experiencing. I don't know what the future holds, but right now I'm going into Stormblood and we will see how it goes. So those were my thoughts and ramblings about this game, and I just want to say is thank you all so much for watching my videos. Recently they've been receiving so much support. If you like this type of stuff, feel free to subscribe. And I always read all your comments, so if you have something to add or ask me questions, feel free to do so in the comment section below. I will be sure to read them and reply to them. Anyways, I will catch you all in the next video. Stay safe and see you soon.